Myanmar, also known as Burma, is a country in Southeast Asia. It is a land of rich history and diverse cultures, with a population that reflects a mosaic of ethnicities and traditions. It's known for its beautiful scenery, from lush green landscapes to ancient temples, and many different groups of people who celebrate a variety of cultural festivals. But sadly, Myanmar has had a lot of fighting for many years. The country has been plagued by internal conflicts and civil unrest, which have deeply affected its people. The army took over the government in 2021, leading to widespread protests and a crackdown on dissent. This caused a lot of trouble and a terrible civil war started. The conflict has resulted in significant loss of life and displacement of communities. Different groups of people, including the Rohingya, have faced terrible violence. The Rohingya, in particular, have been subjected to severe persecution. The Rohingya are a group of Muslims who have lived in Rakhine State for a very long time. They have a rich cultural heritage and a strong sense of community. But Myanmar says they are not citizens, leaving them stateless and without basic rights. They are treated like they don't belong, facing discrimination and exclusion from society. The army has been very cruel to them, committing acts of violence that have shocked the world. They have burned villages, separated families, and killed thousands of people, leading to accusations of genocide. Because of this violence, more than 1 million Rohingya have had to leave their homes, embarking on perilous journeys to find safety. They went to neighboring Bangladesh for safety, where they now live in overcrowded refugee camps. This is a huge problem, and the world is watching as these people are hurt. International organizations are providing aid, but the situation remains dire. Many countries have said the violence is wrong, but more needs to be done. The global community must take stronger action to end the suffering. The Rohingya people deserve fairness, peace, and a safe future. They need the world's support to rebuild their lives and communities. Imagine someone telling you that you don't belong in your own country, that you have no right to live where you were born and raised. This is what the Rohingya people experience every single day. For many years, they have been treated badly in Myanmar, facing discrimination and violence. They don't have basic rights and are often threatened with violence, living in constant fear. People say the Rohingya are the most persecuted group in the world, and their plight is heartbreaking. They have lived through so much violence, and each time more people are forced to leave their homes, seeking safety. The violence in 2017 was especially bad, marking a dark chapter in their history. Thousands of people were killed, and entire villages were destroyed, leaving nothing but ruins. The stories from people who survived are very sad, filled with pain and loss. They talk about terrible things, losing their families and being hunted by their own government, a nightmare they can't escape. The world listened to these stories with horror, shocked by the extent of the cruelty. The Rohingya leaving Myanmar is a terrible event, a mass exodus driven by fear and desperation. It's something we should all feel ashamed of, a stain on our collective conscience. We cannot just stand by and do nothing. We must act. We must demand justice for the Rohingya people and ensure their voices are heard. Imagine living in a tent. Imagine living in a tent for years. This is what life is like for more than 1 million Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh. They ran away from the violence in Myanmar and are now living in crowded camps. Life in these camps is very hard. There isn't enough food, water, or medicine. Families live close together and struggle to start their lives over. Even though things are difficult, the Rohingya people are strong. They still have hope. They dream of a better future and of going back home, but right now, they are stuck. They can't forget the past, and they can't build a future. Their situation reminds us that we need peace in Myanmar. Section 4. Ramadan in Exile, Keeping Faith Alive Amidst Hardship. Ramadan is a special month for Muslims everywhere. It's a time for fasting, praying, and thinking. For the Rohingya refugees, Ramadan away from home is especially meaningful. They celebrate this holy month even though life is hard. They meet in temporary mosques, share small meals, and find comfort in their religion. Ramadan is a time for community and hope. For the Rohingya, it reminds them that they belong together and that they are strong. Even when things are bad, their faith stays strong. It gives them strength and hope for a better tomorrow. Section 5. A Call for Justice and Lasting Peace in Myanmar. The Rohingya crisis is a terrible situation that has affected countless lives. Families have been torn apart, and communities have been destroyed. It shows us how we treat each other in times of crisis and the importance of compassion and humanity. We cannot ignore their suffering. Their pain is a call to action for all of us. Countries around the world must demand that those responsible are held accountable. Justice must be served. We must make the Myanmar government stop the violence and ensure the safety of all its citizens. We must make sure the Rohingya people can return home safely and with respect. But fairness isn't enough. They need security and dignity. We also need lasting peace in Myanmar. This peace must be built on mutual respect and understanding. This means figuring out why the fighting started and addressing the root causes of the conflict. It means helping people talk to each other, understand each other, and forgive each other. Only then can true peace be achieved. The Rohingya people deserve a future without fear. They deserve to live in a world where they feel safe and valued. They deserve a future where they are treated fairly and with respect by everyone around them. They deserve a future where they can live in peace, free from the threat of violence and persecution. Let's work together to make this happen. Let's unite our efforts to bring justice and peace to Myanmar. Let's keep working until there is justice and peace in Myanmar, ensuring a brighter future for all.